a continuation of the last shir. Remember we spoke at length about Korach's problem with Moshe Rabeinu. One of his problems was he was trying to show that we don't need a leader. That was the connection between last piece and this piece. We don't need a leader. Just like a talus that made out of tchelis doesn't need more tchelis.
It's like a top 41 minute comedian.
It is tchelis, doesn't need more tchelis on top of it, right? So, ultimate chachamim, we don't need a leader. So that's actually in the Torah itself. It says in the Torah, Kikol Eidah, Kulam Kedoshim. We are all holy. Anybody know what Rashi says on the words Kulam Kedoshim?
Everything that's holy.
Kikol Ha'Eidah, Kulam Kedoshim. Our Eidah, the congregation, us, Kulam Kedoshim. What does that mean?
Everything that's holy in the congregation. Everything that we witness to be holy.
Kulam Kedoshim, we're all holy. We, the people, are all holy. Says Rashi, we're all holy. What? We walk around with holes, with sheets. We're holy. We're like Yom Kippur. Very, very. No, Kulam Kedoshim, all holy. Kulam Shamu Devora Misina, Mipia Gvura. You're no better than us. Korach says to Moshe Rabeinu. You're better? Kol Eidah, Kulam Kedoshim. We're all holy. We're just like you. We heard the same Torah that you heard on Mount Sinai. You think you're the only one that was there? We were there too. Okay. Hashem gave it to Moshe. Moshe gave it to us. But that was the rest, that was the rest of them. The first two, we all heard together. We heard the first two directly from Hashem. Remember what happened in the story? First two we heard directly from Hashem. Rashi brings the Chazal. Lo atem levavchem shematem misinai. It wasn't you alone that heard these two. It's over here, Tuvia. It wasn't you alone that heard the Torah on Mount Sinai. Korach says to Moshe. We all heard the Torah on Mount Sinai. We all heard the Torah on Mount Sinai. So why are you trying to take all the positions for yourself? We all heard the Torah together. There used to be an expression, I think it was about Ronald Reagan. What? Because he's the president of the United States, he's better than us? He puts on his pants the same way we do. One leg at a time. Okay? I don't know why I brought this in, but I'm comparing Ronald Reagan to this dialogue between Korach and Moshe. But I'm just bringing the same idea. In Yiddish is Sushtel. Right? Basically, what Korach said to Moshe was, what, do you think you're better? You think you're Ronald Reagan? Ronald Reagan president, you're just like us. You happen to be the president, fine. But you're not better. Here's more. You think you're the only one that heard Anochi Hashem Elokecha, and you shouldn't have any other gods? You're not better than us. That is what Korach told Moshe. Now, in this year, we're not going to discuss more about this dialogue. Maybe for another time. There's a lot of Torah here about what Moshe told him back, and the answer to that, and all that. What I want you to do now is take this chazal that I told you.
He's taking this a step further.
And we're going to use this chazal. The Olam here asked for a Hasidic vort. I give him a choice. Musa, Hasidic, Halacha, Lamish. That's what they chose. Or if it was Lamish, they'd say that's what the Chalois chose. And therefore, I'm respecting their wishes. So I'm going to say Hasidic vort from Malach, who's my favorite Hasidic Rebbe? Right, he became, I love him. The, what was it again? The Ostrofser. The Ostrofser. I think there's another letter in there. The Ostrofser, I think. Now, you always say, whenever I quote him, you always say my favorite. And now when I ask him to say which one, he doesn't know the answer. So funny. The Rebbe Heschel.
Right.
Whenever I say the Rebbe Heschel, Max always goes, oh, your favorite one. then when I asked him which was my favorite, he didn't know the answer. Isn't it ironic? Okay. So the Rebbe Heschel tells us, and I'm going to do what the Rebbe says, like a good chassid. We're going to follow what the Rebbe says. The Rebbe says, take this chazal, put it aside, and we're going to use this chazal to answer up a very famous kasha, which seems to have no shaykhs to this. What's Korach do? Why is he bringing in this? Well, if you give me a second, I'll bring it in. There is a connection between this chazal and what I'm going to tell you now. Sefer Devarim, Torah tells us in the beginning of Sefer Devarim, these are the words, Eila Devarim, okay, Ashadiba Moshe Akol Yisrael. Moshe has given the Klal Yisrael Musar, things that they did wrong. And the Torah tells us different things that Moshe Rabeinu was talking about. For another time, maybe Pasha's Devarim, when it's the week's Pasha, or some other time, we'll discuss why. Say what it is. You mean the ego? Say the ego. You mean, Korach's rebellion? Say Korach. Why say things and you mean something else? I mean, women do that a lot. But, not women here. Say, you're supposed to figure out what they mean without meaning it. That's not what, right? Shlomo here. There's no women here. Moshe Rabeinu, Hashem's telling Moshe, tell us the stuff. When you give Musa, give it. Don't give Musa half-baked. Then the guy's going to accept your Musa half-baked. So for another time, we'll answer that question. But for now, take this for granted. That's what's going on. So it basically goes in chronological order. The end, it's weird. V'chatzeros v'di zahav. Two of the incidents that Moshe gives us Musar about, or two things, chatzeros and di zahav. So what are these two things? Anybody want to guess? Well, yeah, a lack of Avos Yisrael, machlokes, right? This week's parsha, the machlokes that we're talking about, Korach, right? Chatzeros means the story of Korach. That was a terrible story. What happened? And di zahav, very good. A lot of gold. There goes zahav, the golden calf. All the Achronim ask a kasha. What do you mean? V'chatzeros v'di zahav. What are you talking about? Max likes when I do that. What are you talking about? In fact, just to digress, I watched one of the shiurim that I was giving, and that's exactly what happened. I get excited sometimes. I lost my voice tonight. I was quoting it because I was on there. And what are you talking about? And I hear Max, what are you talking about? You remember that time? He did that a lot.
Highlights.
Yeah, it was very funny. I was like, okay. I wasn't sure what you were doing, but that was funny. Yeah. Okay, so sometimes I do go back and I watch the shiurim, and it's funny to see the guy's reaction. So what's going on? The story of Korach happened, anybody help me out over here, chronologically? When? Before or after the story of the golden calf? After! So the rest of the pasuk was done in chronological order. So how come at the end of the pasuk they switched it? Chatzeros to di zahav. It should be di zahav and then chatzeros. If you believe in the Torah Shabbat Peh, remember another shir? That's not an option. I forgot what it was. Remember that? Okay. Chatzeros to di zahav, right? Very simple. It should be di zahav chatzeros. Why are we going in the wrong order when clearly the story of the golden calf was before chronologically the story of Korach's rebellion? Before I say the Hasidic answer from the Rebbe Heschel, anybody want to try?
No order on the top.
You like that, Max? Whenever you're stuck, you have the answer. Ain't Mukhtar Moshe B'Torah, right? Remember the Shabbos one? Whenever the rabbi doesn't have a good answer, why can't I do this on Shabbos? One malacha, my valid. It's not Shabbos day, right? Okay, there's always ways to get out of this, right?
Mar science.
Well, science, no plug. Baruch Hashem, thank you Hashem. You gave us so many ways to answer questions. There's always an answer. So Shlomo tried to pull a a fast one there, right? Shmuel. Okay, again, what do I say every time when you give these cute answers? That can't be the answer, otherwise we wouldn't have all these books. I wouldn't have a shiur for the next hour. That can't be just the answer to the question. The Torah was not in chronological order. Gotta make a living. I gotta give my classes, right? So that can't be the only answer. Has to be more to say. Much more? Okay. So I'm going to tell you a beautiful pshat from the Rebbe Heschel. Now, I lost my voice. If it's a regular day, I'd be up and dancing. In fact, last night, who was here 2 nights ago? No, I learned with you. Right? After I learned with you, I learned with Rabbi Silver. Oh, that's why I lost my voice, because I was screaming. I was so excited about this pshat. And we learned it over there, this pshat. Now, what was the excuse that Moshe Rabeinu came up with when they asked him about the Egel? Hashem said to Moshe Rabeinu, that's it, you're done. I'm knocking them all out. Gone.
What was his excuse or his
Forced them to take all the gold.
Yeah. Moshe Rabeinu had to come up with something. He didn't want Hashem to do what he said he was going to do. Remember the laning? Vayecha Moshe.
I think Shmuel asked his excuse or his defense.
or like a negotiation or something.
Yeah.
So Shmuel is the fellow over here. Shlomo, the fellow over here. Shlomo came up with the answer. One of the things he used was, there were a lot of things, was, by the way, I'm just going to explain why Di Zahav is the ego. Di Zahav, a lot of gold. You know, what were they supposed to do with the gold? Interesting way that Moshe Rabeinu tried to come up with.
They're in the desert. What are they going to do with it?
I mean, I could give a whole list of things that you can do with gold. Gold's great for a lot of things. So that Hashem could have answered that to Moshe. That's not an excuse. I give you something good, and then you say you try to use that against me. Like Adam did that, right? Oh, well, the woman you gave me. Adam was the first person who was not Makar Tov, Kofei Tov. Take something good, and instead of saying thank you to Hashem, you say no good. That's called Mashalim Ruah Tachas Tova, paying bad for something good. But why did that Moshe Rabeinu did that? That's one of the jobs of a leader. A leader is supposed to come up with any ways to answer his flock. The leader has to defend his flock. Moshe Rabeinu tried so many different ways to defend the Jewish people, why they did the Egel. I'm going to tell you another pshat now, which is what we need for this pshat. Also, weird answer. And I tell you what it is, you're going to say, what? Moshe Rabeinu said that? That doesn't make any sense. But just like this one is a little out there, but Moshe Rabeinu tried it. Maybe he knew it wouldn't work, but he wanted to show us. This is my chiddush now. Why? What? He thought Hashem would buy that? God. It was like Bill Cosby tries to have the dialogue with Noah and God, right? So Moshe thought that God would buy that. I mean, what do you think, God? What are they supposed to do with the gold? So maybe he knew that wouldn't work. This is my chiddush now. Take it or leave it. Maybe he felt that I'm trying to show the Jewish people what the job of a leader is to do whatever he has the ability to defend his people, even if it means coming up with out there logic to defend your people. That's your job as a manik, as a leader, is to defend your people. Okay, so the next one he came up with, when that didn't work, what were they supposed to do with the gold? Hashem said, plenty of things I could have done with the gold. This one. This is the Medrash. I would have done it on my own. The Medrash. Basically, in a nutshell, what sin did they commit when they did the Egel Azav? That's Avodah Zarah. Where does it say in the Torah you can't do Avodah Zarah? Where? Maybe I'm not familiar with that.
Avram's father.
In the Torah, the prohibition. Very good. The Ten Commandments. What does it say? Anochi Hashem Elokecha Asher Hotzeisicha Eretz Mitzrayim. You know what they say? They could take the guy out of the Balkorei. They can't take the Balkorei out of the guy, right? I'm a Balkorei, okay, that's right. So, listen to this. Moshe Rabeinu says to Hashem, you're mad at them for doing Avodah Zarah. How are they supposed to know that they can't do Avodah Zarah? You were talking to me. Anochi Hashem Elokecha Asher Hotzeisicha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. I took you out of Egypt. You can't have other gods. Lo yeh lacha Elohim acherim aponai. Moshe Rabbeinu says to Hashem, you hear this logic? He tried to use this to defend the Jewish people. They didn't do anything wrong. How are they supposed to know that they can't do Avodah Zarah? Where does it say in the Torah they can't do Avodah Zarah? Moshe says to Hashem, I can't do Avodah Zarah. They thought that me, as the leader, I have a special, chumrah. I can't do Avodah Zarah because I have to focus totally on service, on teaching the Jewish people how to serve God. So if I'm the leader, I have to lead by example. I can't serve God and serve Baal. But they thought maybe the non-leaders, the Chassidim, I suppose, the Rebbe and the Chassidim, right? The Chassidim have different rules. The Rebbe can daven 11:30. Chassidim have to daven by Zman Krishma, Zman Tefillah, right? So, you hear this? Very interesting. As on the side, could be the same shot like I said before. Moshe Rabeinu didn't think that this would actually work, but he wanted to show us the job of a leader. You have one job only: defend your people. Okay, that was the editorial part of the thing. Now getting back to this, beautiful shot from the Rebbe of Heschel. What a beautiful shot! I'm going to tell you now. We asked before, and I asked you to take this Rashi, put it aside, because we're going to use it now. If I can paraphrase the words of Avram Fried, the time is now. Right now is the time when I'm going to use this Rashi to explain the answer to this question. We said that Moshe Rabeinu tried to use the logic. You can't be upset at them for doing Avodah Zarah. They didn't know that they weren't allowed to do Avodah Zarah. They thought that the issue was only on me because it says Lashon Yochid. It doesn't say Lashon Rabim. It says in Lashon Yochid. We're good? But that's not a valid excuse. Why? Look in the Torah. Rashi brings the Tanchuma on the pasuk. Kikola Edo Kulam Kedoshim. What I said before. You think you're better? You think you're the only one that heard, thou shalt have none other gods? We all heard it. So that is a double standard. Either you're cold or you're not cold. I'm cold. I don't want ISIS. The hostess offers you something cold. I don't want ISIS. How about ice cream? Yeah. I thought you were cold. That's called selective being cold, right? Right? You want soup? No, it's hot. But then something else comes out which is hot. I thought you were hot. I thought but we all do that in life. That's just the Muslim part. I know you want the Hasidic, but I threw in a little Muslim. We all do that. We have selective things, I can't come to learn. I'm busy. Really? How about if you had a big deal? All of a sudden you're busy, right? Okay, so that's the point. You hear this rule? It's a beautiful connection. The reason why Chatzeros is before Dizahav, the reason why Korach is before the Egel, even though chronologically it wasn't that way, is because Chatzeros, part of my expression, I'll say Yeshivish, is what shaft Dizahav. The story of Korach is what made the Egel into the being of sin. Without Korach, the Egel would not have been a sin. Without Korach, the Egel would have been, okay, that's something that they did. The reason why the Egel became what it became, and Avera, is why? Because of Korach. They contradicted this lumbus that they said, I didn't know it applied to me. That could have worked. But you know when it didn't work? When they used that same logic to bust themselves. The first time in history when somebody said, busted. This is what happened over here. Okay? Moshe said to Hashem, don't do it. They didn't know. Hashem said, we'll see what happens. And then once this happened, I wasn't there, but maybe Hashem said, Mo, busted. Right? Don't give me this. Or as they say, what you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? What are you talking about? You can't say that you didn't know when you yourself said.
So why is it miracle come first then?
Because Korach and then Egel, because Korach is what made the Egel into being a sin. So Korach has to come first. It was the Korach that made the Egel into being the Egel. Otherwise, there would be people having a party with a golden calf. Why not?
That still doesn't excuse the fact that we did not receive the Torah yet. We didn't have the Torah.
Shmuel's asking a separate question, which we can answer. But ask it as a question. It has nothing to do with this book. It's very simple. No, you're asking a question about the Torah wasn't given. I'll be glad to answer that question. I'm going to clarify. It has nothing to do with this verse. What did you say?
They shouldn't learn out from Korach.
Korach.
The Jews shouldn't learn out from Korach.
Came later. Came later.
Just said he came earlier.
Chronologically, what was first? Tell me, help him out of here.
I know that.
The Egel. The Torah was back in Yisrael.
Correct. I'm trying to show Shmuel that's a good question, and I don't mind answering it, but there's nothing to do with this verse. You have what happened over here. V'chatzeros v'ti zahav. Very simple verse. A beautiful verse. I'm not sure if Max has the amkus. Only v'chatzeros was the v'ti zahav. Only because of the Korach. The Korach made the zahav. Korach made the Egel to being an Egel.
It's still hard to believe that, because of Korach, that's how the Egel Azam became.
I hear your question. I'm going to answer that with the Musar aspect part of it. And that's something I was saying before. Mavs are 9 for those who want to go. I'm cool. I don't know if Shmuel's going to stay till 11 o'clock.